Doomsday marches on and we get closer to her supposed death. In today's video, we'll be looking at what happens and what interesting information we learnt in the novel Extraction Point and the second special event in the Lost in Time mobile game. All of that covers hours 11 to 15 in this multi-platform event. So welcome to the Doomsday Canon Catch-up. Hot on the heels of meeting K9 and Chameleon in the last hour, Doom is at a ski resort for her next target in hour 11. She learns that the mission got flagged for temporal distortion, so assassins can avoid missions with time travelers, but this is what Doom is using to hopefully help her run into the Doctor. Unusually, she's meeting with a client's representative who wants her to do the hit in a special way she had done previously on another ski mountain, which had been an accident. Doesn't usually meet with clients or their representatives, but has made an exception this time. The target's name is Stalgon, but before she can complete her hit, she's shot at by androids, and it turns out the whole ski resort is full of android bodyguards. There are no actual guests. Oh, and yeah, there's an asteroid heading towards the planet, an extinction level event. One interesting tidbit we get in the prose of the novel is Doom contemplating the nature of the deaf figure that is following her. Is it a shadow? Is it a stalker in a cowl? Is it a hallucination? But we get no firm answers. We still don't know what this creature is. Also, another interesting fact, if you're wondering if Doom is just a ruthless killer, she does show signs of feeling guilty of depriving her targets of life in her thoughts. On page 33, if you're interested. Anyway, back to the plot. She eventually catches up with her target in the bunker and kills him. The Ninth Doctor, however, shows up. Seems to indicate he may remember New Venice, so does that mean it was the first Doctor that she met? He was referred to as an old man. The first Doctor is really the only old man that comes before the Ninth Doctor, so probably the Ninth? Probably the first even, I'm guessing. The Ninth Doctor reveals that this whole planet that they're on is basically a real-world simulation for a client run by the aliens Kral. Now the text indicates here that Doom is surprised that the Doctor has a different face, which is odd, because she's already met the Sixth Doctor in the Doctor Who magazine comic, so why is she surprised that he has another face? Also, in previous versions of this story, previous installments of this story, she has indicated that she is aware of the Time Lords and their abilities to change their faces, so it's odd here that she would be so shocked that he has a different face. The next section, hour 12, she gets her second mission of the book. Here she's on Satellite 5.
This is Satellite 5.
Floor 333 in the year 200,003, 3 years after the events of the Long Game TV episode. We learned that after the Jagrafest was defeated by the Doctor, that the Empress made a decree to improve entertainment across the Empire. The mind ports that had been shown in that previous episode had been disabled and replaced with holographic avatar interfaces for information retrieval. Now apparently on Satellite 5, that increased entertainment included karaoke, I approve, where participants are randomly selected, as Doom is here. Depending on your propensity for karaoke, that thought may probably either strike fear into your heart or kind of sounds like fun, and as I already indicated, I am in the latter camp. So is Doom apparently. Bring on the karaoke! She's also, however, desperate for a coffee, and I also know that feeling very well. I could do with one now, but it's far too late in the day. I would never sleep. Her mission on Satellite 5 is to kill an ethereal being, basically a ghost. While there, she sees a newscast of an asteroid impact from her last mission. But that was a simulation, wasn't it? Turns out, this, on the news, is the real planet that the simulation was set up to test the asteroid's impact on. Anyway, a TV producer wants to film her doing her hit on this ghost for a TV show. And while she's on air with this, she mutters a message to the Doctor, hoping that at some point he will see it. The producer actually tricks Doom into getting into a death trap with the ghost. He's going to kill them both. For ratings? Apparently, maybe not. More on that later. The ghost boy, however, helps her escape the free-falling elevator. She goes to kill the producer, but he's already dead. We get a bit of background about Doom as well in this section. We find out that Doom kind of fell into this career after her music career didn't pan out. Why she likes karaoke, I guess. And she got into a bit of trouble with... She doesn't finish. Now, an interesting fact about the Ghost Boy is that he is the personification of the computer of the ship sent to destroy the asteroid from that news article. And he takes the form of the Carter leader's son, and he wants to hire Doom to kill the asteroid. Pro bono work, which Doom has never done before. Now, there was a bit of background information on this planet where there are two opposing factions. One religiously believes the asteroid is meant to hit to test them, and the other believes that it should be stopped. The boy's mother belongs to the religious group, the father of the belief that it needs to be stopped. That's relevant later as well. Hour 13, destroy the asteroid. The vortex manipulator takes her into the asteroid where she plans to plant charges to destroy it. But there are cave paintings on the wall. Unusual for an asteroid. They describe some snakes descending diagonally down the wall with feather heads. Also, she discovers the asteroid is full of huge cockroaches, 21 centimeters long. And they all rush on her and drop on her from the ceiling. They swarm over her, but she's pulled away by the Ninth Doctor again. He got her message that she whispered while on TV and deduced that she'd be coming to the asteroid. Also there is a Vastan, Cat, who says she can't blow up the asteroid because that would be committing genocide, presumably on the cockroaches. And she'd been working with the Doctor but had withheld the information about the insects from him. She claims the insects are descendants of an advanced civilization and they would move the rock to avoid a catastrophic impact with the planet. But actually, it turns out the insects are just robots. An asteroid is powered by a rocket, a weapon fired at the planet. The Doctor disappears for a little while. He goes after his TARDIS, which has been ejected into space. Doom finds out Cat hired her for the first two jobs of this book, and that Cat works for a company called Slevene, which is a company registered on Earth over 200,000 years ago. Cat also starts to balloon in size. Doom refers to not knowing how long until her timeline collapses onto itself. So is this the fate that she is running from? This is the first we've heard of it, if so, at least unless I missed something. She also refers to a future her. Did I miss that as well in an earlier thing? Please let me know in the comments below, but I don't recall there being a reference to a future her before this. Not entirely sure what it means. The Doctor returns in the nick of time and stops her blowing up the asteroid and changes its course instead, sends it towards the sun. Day saved. So in the next hour, Doctor has taken Doom to a Starbucks in 2006. He knows about the Slevene and that he stopped them 3 months ago. So from the Doctor's point of view, this is some point in series 1. So where's Rose? Then there's reference to the events in the novel The Monsters Inside by Stephen Cole, where the Doctor and Rose met Slevene on a prison planet. But it doesn't reference any meetings with the Slevene after this point, so we can presume this is therefore before the comic Doctor Mania and before the TV episode Boomtown. I guess maybe he just dropped Rose off somewhere for a bit. Maybe she went to a concert. That seems to be a theme in Doctor Who Expanded Media, dropping your companions off to see concerts. Another bit of information to place this in the Doctor's timeline, this also seems to be after the Long Game TV episode, as the Doctor references checking in on Satellite 5, and that's how he heard a message, Doom's message. Doom has heard of Raxacorifallapatorius. I will get this. Raxacorifallapatorius. Told you I'd get it. So Doom has heard of that, I'm not going to say it again, and refers to something called the Raxas Alliance. I don't know if we've heard of that before, I don't think it's been in a TV episode, maybe it was in a Sarah Jane one, I'm not sure. The Doctor leaves her in 2006, telling her to investigate the Slevene there, and hinting that that might help her situation. After he leaves her there, she decides to completely ignore that advice and take another job. 2 at once, in fact. Just as she's about to leave, Death catches up with her in the toilets, and she quickly vortex manipulates out. The new jobs happen to be back on Vasta, the planet that gets hit by the asteroid. One is to kill the leader of the Muds, the other is to kill the leader of the Cuds, the 2 rival factions. Hired for one by Alexis, that's the boy's mum, and the other by his dad. 2 different sides of the conflict, both hiring her at once. They're at a conference centre on Vasta, and a Slevene arrives, goes up on stage and announces that Doom's targets are already dead. Offers the delegates a safe haven from the asteroid. The Slevene apparently are working for a client who wants to mine Abazantium from the planet. When we see another Doctor, the second, based on his description and the fact that there's a picture of him on the front cover. The book refers to him being more shambolic than the other ones she'd met, other two she'd met in fact, once again forgetting about the 6th Doctor in the comic. The 2nd Doctor refers to the other one writing about Doom in his diary, so I think this is the actual confirmation that it was the 1st Doctor she met on New Venice. This must be a post-War Games Doctor, as he's working for the agency of Gallifrey. Stalgon, you know, the scientist that Doom assassinated in the first mission of the book, is with the Doctor. Is this earlier in his timeline? Is he an ethereal? Nope, he's a robot, made by his children to seek revenge for his death. You know, revenge against Doom. They apparently went to the Time Lords to petition them to get justice for his murder in exchange for intelligence about the whole Slovene situation. He tries to kill Doom, but she stuns him, and the Doctor reprograms him. Together they expose the Slovene plot to impersonate leaders and stoke a civil war, and the two factions on the planet stop fighting. Ta-da! End of story. Now, given the size of the novel, this is the most plot we've got in one instalment of Doomsday, and probably the most character development too. No rest for Doom though, as she's on to her next, much shorter mission. Hour 15, the Lost in Time mobile game event, wrong place at the right time. Doom rescues a man called Martin from an organised crime syndicate. Martin has been trying to obtain a fake high-level pass to government archives to get proof that the government is disappearing people. Martin is part of a resistance against an oppressive, fascist regime. When Martin finds out Doom is a time traveller, he obviously asks if his resistance ever succeeds, and she admits it does. The problem is, for the rebellion to succeed, Martin needs to be its martyr, and that's what Doom has been hired for. To kill him and make it look like the state police did it, thus sparking a full rebellion. Mission successful, Doom looks for a new mission and takes a liking to the sound of one on a cruise ship. This was a much shorter one to get through. Not much in there really. Is any of this going to be relevant to later on in the event? Who knows? So, next time we'll look at the BBC audiobook release 4 from Doomsday, which I guess will probably start on a cruise. Hope this has been useful for those of you that aren't buying every release in the Doomsday multi-platform event and still want to keep up with what's going on. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe and all that jazz, and I'll see you for the next instalment. Goodbye.